Welcome everybody to Epic Sketch Time. Epic Sketch Time is an online drawing group. We meet every Tuesday at 4:30 Pacific time. You can sign up via Eventbrite. Just type in Epic Sketch Time. Go to our Facebook page, look for the sign up link there, or contact me, Mark Monlux. My name's right there. And that's Mark Monlux at comcast.net. No dots, no underscore, no spaces. And ask me to place you on our direct mailing reminder list. I live in Tacoma, Washington. I'm a freelance illustrator since 1985. And today I'm going to be working on doing some monster artwork for a deck of playing cards that I've been working on in the background for a couple years now. First in is Bill Morris. Bill, how are you? Give an introduction.
Hey, hi, I'm Bill Morris. I'm a freelance illustrator and cartoonist working and living in Seattle, Washington. And I also do a webcomic called Rhapsodies, which you can find at rhapsodies.wpmorse.com. And I'll be working on inking that today.
Katie, you're next.
Hi, this is Katie C. On Instagram. I'm at Evil Girlfriend Media. I'm a writer and artist from Bonnie Lake, Washington. I'm not really sure I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to sit down here and see what happens. Normally, I do fan art and tarot cards.
Both Katie and I spent last weekend at the Washington State Summer Con, which is a show here in Washington State over in a town called Puyallup, and on what was the Puyallup Fairgrounds, it's now called the Washington State Fairgrounds. Not to be confused with the Western Washington State Fair. For years, I don't understand why they did the name change to Washington State Fair, because everybody's known it as the Puyallup Fair, and they still call it the Puyallup Fair. But there you go. Anyway, I really want to thank Steve, the organizer, because last Thursday, well, first of all, my history with him goes way back. I was at his very first show, which was a toy show, and I asked to be in it because it was a very small show, just 2 rows of tables basically that went down in a U shape and back and out the door. And if you really wanted to go with the traffic, you had to go outside and come back in again. And I was always impressed at how he ran that show. First of all, he charged more for people who attended early, because people who collect toys want to get there before everybody else. He also gave discounts to kids later on in the day, guaranteeing a consistent flow of interested people. He still does pretty much the same type of thing. Oh, we have an incoming person. Here we go. While Virginia works her way in, I'll work on my story. Anyway, I've been with Steve from the beginning, and so I was a little shocked when I checked on Thursday, looking for myself on the directory, which I didn't bother to do until then, and noticed I wasn't on there. And dang, if I thought I checked all my receipts, I didn't see a receipt. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, something got screwed up with the application. So I sent Steve a message, and by the end of the day, he contacted me and said, just show up tomorrow. I've got a spot for you. Here's the table number. And I said, hey, just in case I forgot to send you money, what about that? Where do I send it? I don't want to leave you in the lurch. He says, don't worry about that for now. Just come and make money, which I did. I went, I had a nice inline spot in Artist Alley over at the bottom level of the pavilion. And it was a good show for me. I was really happy that I brought someone along to help me on Saturday. And I also had someone with me most of the day on Sunday. They were fellow artists, and they were also, they only brought along a few items, but they both sold stuff and made money. And Katie, I know that you were in there and you had a corner booth or a corner
Um,
location in Artist Alley by the doors. How'd that work for you guys?
so so we were like, either Steve knows our name and he or this is totally random. He either loves us or hates us because we either have one of the best spots in the house or the worst. And come to find out, we had one of the best spots in the house. It was, we were so worried about the RTD2s, like, clogging things up or not being, possibly like not bringing traffic, and then that door, and and then we were just like, you know what, we need to keep an open mind. These people know what they're doing. We had a great time last year, and we loved the attendees. The vibe of the attendees was amazing last year. We're going into this with an open mind and a good attitude, and just trust that the people setting up the showroom floor know what they're doing, and that there's not a bad place to be in this pavilion. And so we just went into it with a really good attitude. We also had worked on our branding a little bit before the show. And so it just was like everything aligned for us. We had that perfect spot. We did our setup, and being by the droids was actually in some ways it was a great draw. It was a blessing. There were people that probably didn't even go down the other rows that hit our booth because we were on that corner right as you come back and forth from the droids, and that doorway where people wanted to go get elephant ears and the pineapple Dole Whip. And then they were coming from the pineapple Dole Whip and the elephant ears into the building. So if he were to email us today and say, do you want to come back next year and do you want your exact same spot? We would say without 100%, there would be no doubt. It would be 100%. Heck yes, here's my money. I'm back. We have never had that big of a convention in Washington State ever. And for it to have been in an artist alley was mind blowing. Tim sold 60 books, which was really good for him. I sold out of mine, but I only had, 30, and then doubled the amount of money that I had made the year before on art. So it still was a lower selling art event for me, but I feel like when you're in an artist alley, you're in a concentrated kind of competitive group. And so you're either going to find those people who absolutely love your art, or those people are going to go find the art they absolutely love. Like there's a little bit more competition than I think if you're at a horror con and everybody's dispersed out, right? Unless you're in the artist alley at the HorrorCon. And so we were just blown away. Like Tim is so used to in Washington State, having to do a car salesman pitch on books. Same for me. Like sometimes I feel like when we're at Washington cons, I have to beg people to buy my books. And these attendees at this con were in a good mood. Everyone was happy. They were looking to buy things. Yeah, it was like there was a point on Friday where we're like, oh, it's gonna be like last year, but the con's not open for very long on Fridays. So, the people who are there on Friday, they're either there just for the one day, and they're usually there to get like one specific signature and then they're out, or they're just there to peruse. But the people who have the 3-day passes, they don't play. They're there to get their, signatures on Friday night if those people are there. So we were just like, oh, it's going to be like last year. Well, that's okay. We still did pretty decent last year. And then to walk away from the con on Sunday evening and be like, we made just a little less than we make in Texas, and we made it in an artist alley at a convention 30 minutes from our house, was a great feeling. It was pretty darn good feeling. So I really hope Steve puts this con again, and I really hope that he will accept our application and let us come back, and we'll do whatever we can to promote Washington State SummerCon, because I just feel like this year was very cool. The CCon people that, the volunteers, service, they came by, they asked about us, like, I'm like, we're like, no, there's two of us. Don't worry about us. We'll take care of each other, help the vendors who there's only one person, and yeah, we were just, man, the atmosphere and the attitude of the attendees, it was, we had a couple people that were like, you always had those every con where they're like, oh, they hate your stuff, everything you do suck, your prices are wrong, but those people are at every convention. It doesn't matter. And it's not you, it's them. So yeah, very happy. Like, and people loved our branding with Undead and Married, because for years we've been trying to find something that kind of shores up questions people have about us, because sometimes they'll be like, oh, are you helping your husband? Or if someone recognizes me, it's like, oh, your husband's helping you, and it's like, no, we're a joint creative team. And so I was kind of making that sign that said Undead and Married, and then like people would see the sign, and then like they would laugh, and like married couples thought it was funny, and then just even young people were really intrigued by it and just thought it was funny. And then of course they were attracted to the art and then the books. But we've never had a con where, like, we've had it at Texas. It's about the only place we've seen this, but like there were more than one time where someone just came up to the booth and like people were in a book buying mood. They just came through and just grabbed books. And I think some of it too, especially if there were a lot of parents there with like teenagers. And so I think my books and Tim's book can appeal to young and old. And I think that there were parents buying for their summer reading, and then also, oh, by the way, this is your summer reading too. So that really was helpful for us. Cannot say enough good. I'm so glad that we applied again and got in. And yeah, did I cover everything? I don't know.
Well, I really agree with you. First of all, I've been by the front doors twice. My last 2 years there, I was in the front door spot, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, I really did. You would think having a huge space in front of you would be detrimental, and in other conventions it is. I've been at the front doors at ECC, and the crowd is so thick going by you coming in that they don't stop. And that can be detrimental. But at ECC, if the crowd's so thick that they don't stop, it doesn't matter where you're at, they're just going to be moving along. But yeah, I believe that you're right. It is important to have a pitch, and it's important to do, to have a rolling pitch, that where you can pitch one thing after the other and have it comfortably lead in, especially in the moment you can get them to laugh and give them a good interactive experience where they're not feeling defensive. Just the fact that they laughed at your table will bring them back.
And it happened to more than one. Yeah.
And I have another friend of mine, a guy I've known since the early 80s. I mean, he and I go way back. His name's Jay Palmer. I met him through the SCA, the Society of Creative Anachronists. And he's a writer. And he was in the other, in the other building, and with a corner booth. And he did bangers. They were selling out of his books. They brought extra books that had been damaged that they didn't think they'd be able to sell. But when people are saying, "Oh, do you have this in the full set?" They said, well, yeah, we do, but it's a damaged set. We'll sell to you at a discount price. And they were going, give it to us. We'll take it. So they were even selling damaged goods.
That's
how,
amazing.
and you know how hard it is to sell a set of unread, untried books and have people say, oh, I want the whole series. You know, if I'm committed to you, you know, from the get-go. That's the type of crowd that goes to Washington State Summer Con, and it's a 3-day convention. But unlike you, I was hitting it out of the park. My first 2 guys came up to my table, first guys on Friday that approached, and both of them together, I made $100, and that just set the tone for the
That's
rest
amazing.
for the rest of the convention. I did really good. I just got through ordering more stickers this morning because, oh, by the way, in case you didn't know it, Sticker Mule is having a sale in the next 4 days, and their sale this time is on holographic stickers.
Ooh.
So you can get 30 of them for $50. And so that's not, oh, pardon me, 50 of them for $30. Pardon me, I got that backwards. Wait a minute, 50 of them for $30. Yeah, I got that price right. So that's a die cut holographic 3-inch sticker. And it just so happened that I only had 3 left of my holographic 3-inch sticker, the one with the UFO crashing into the Capitol building. And so I did that, but my horror movie bingo cards, which was one of my best sellers, I just got through ordering, was it? I think I found out that it was only $10 more to buy my second 1,000. It's sort of like their lot numbers go from, 500, 1,000, 2,000, then 5,000, and I was kind of, oh, it's only a $10 jump to 2,000. I'll do that. I didn't want to buy 5,000. Oh, here we have another person coming in. Virginia, why don't you give an introduction of where you live and what you're drawing today?
Well, I live in Seattle, on the, let's see, Lake City. And I'm just doing some what do you call Zentangle. So I've there are going to be letters.
Ah,
So I think I'm going to give them to my grandkids. So that's what their initials are. Okay. So that's what, excuse me, that's what I'm doing. Did you get my email? I'm sorry.
oh, if you sent the email today, I didn't get it because I
Okay.
haven't been checking my email.
Okay, well, anyway, that's okay. I was, my computer would, wanted to download everything, and so I thought I wouldn't make it, and last week I forgot. So now I've put you on my calendar. And are you going to be here next Friday?
You're talking about the 4th of July weekend?
Yeah.
No, I was going to bring that up. No, I'm taking the 4th of July off.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah, I typically take off federal holidays. So
Most people do.
now we have a new person signing in. Luis, if you'd be so kind to show us your face to confirm that you're over 18 or that you have parental consent, that would be superb. This isn't the minor request. This is a requirement. Hello, perhaps I didn't say the name right. Luis Rios? Can you confirm with an audio check that you're hearing us? Louise, please confirm. I'll give you one more minute. Oh, I see it now. Okay, that's okay. Your PC has neither a camera nor a microphone, but you'd like to stay. Okay, I understand. I have the same experience. Sorry, I did that. It took me a while to see the my old computer. I had to buy a camera for it. Okay, we will trust that Louise is a decent individual and not somebody trying to do a raid. We were just talking about the Washington State SummerCon and how Katie and I did there. Yeah, I was so distraught on Thursday, totally convinced that I'd blown it and that I wasn't going to be able to make the money that I was counting on making at that event, because I always do good there. And I did even better than last year. Just absolute fun. And I'm looking at what I sold, and let's see. My biggest seller was the Thing poster that I made for the movie The Thing. That was the #1 seller. And I sold a lot of shirts. Enough so that many of my oversized shirts are now gone. I have 2 designs and I've stopped printing them because just having them in boxes and bins in storage is actually cutting into my profits, because it cost me like $120 to keep a storage unit. When I first started that storage unit, it was only costing me $30 a month, which was easily affordable. But over the years, they've just kept raising the rates. So, and this is for the smallest storage unit I can find. Bill, do you have a storage unit?
Not at the moment. I don't think I have, though there's times where I think it would be a good thing. There's space in my apartment's basement that I could look into, but I've never.
Oh, so you've still got more places where you could store items then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you want to put paper and things in a place where there's no humidity, where it won't get damp or mildewy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited about seeing these things online that look like they absorb, pull water out of the air.
Oh, neat.
There's our laundry room gets a little steamy sometimes. Not a whole lot of really good ventilation in there. Oh, speaking of laundry room, my phone just told me that I need to change my laundry over. So I'm just going to throw my face up. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves while I deal with this minor chore.
Okay.
Bill, you went on vacation recently, right? How
Yes.
was it?
With the exception at the very end, it was great.
Oh no, what happened?
On the last day before the day that I was traveling, she, for the last 3 days before, she had had a cold that left her having to take it easy while I went out in the woods and painted, and which was a bit of a bummer. But as of the last day, it turned out it was pneumonia, and it was leaving her so loopy that we mistook it for a mini stroke for about 4 hours.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah. And she's well, she's still recovering from it, but as far as mentally, she's fine now. But yeah, that when you're talking to your mom and she's not finishing sentences, that's scary.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm sorry. Well, and you said she's recovering, so that's
Yeah.
good.
So, but at the moment, other than what I would just said of the mental stuff, they got her on the antibiotics, and I've had perfectly normal conversations with her since then.
Okay, good. No, I'm glad to hear that. Oh, and did you get some good painting done while you were there?
Oh wow, yes, I did.
Okay.
Mark's, let's see, is Mark given the share? I will have to show. If you're on my Instagram, you've probably seen most of them, but we have to wait for Mark if I can share them here.
Yeah, I do follow you on Instagram, but I'll take a look because I'm not sure if I saw them or not. It's weird how sometimes Instagram gatekeeps, it's kind of like depending on what you put in your hashtags and your artists, just like all the rest of them, it doesn't let you
And it's
do
weird
what you
how a
want
lot
to.
of these things change over the years. So, I mean, for example, to give you an example, maybe they felt guilty about it, but for the longest time, it seemed that sex sold. So provided if it was something that was slightly of the pinup nature and I put the tags that suggested that, generally I would get a whole lot of hits, but that does not appear to be the case anymore. And
That sounds about right, though. Sounds about par for the course.
yeah, I mean, sometimes I've, at least with a lot of them, I mean, what works and what doesn't work on Instagram is really inconsistent for me. And sometimes it's kind of depressing that it's not the best pieces that I did that get the most results. Though, I mean, one of the ones that's always been good for me were these movie reviews that I would occasionally do, where I'm putting, but that's probably because I have it's a picture of 2 movie posters and I'm name dropping all the talent behind the movie.
My gosh. Yeah, I never can tell what will, people will actually get to see versus what they won't see. It's really frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, because it was kind of depressing because the paintings, even though I'm really pleased with my output, didn't get that much feedback on Instagram. My best guess is because I was posting just about any time that I finished them in Eastern time, and I'm pretty sure most of my followers on Instagram are Pacific Central, so perhaps that is an explanation.
Yeah, that very well could be because I would have been one of your West Coast people that would be, looking at it.
Mm-hmm. But it was sort of like it was very uplifting. I don't think I've had this level of confidence in my watercolors ever.
Oh, awesome.
And
I'm back. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay, let's see.
And so I need to keep practicing again. I mean, the closest thing to practice since the trip was this little thing that I've been experimenting with Gorillas, with sort of layering in, doing multiple layers of Payne's gray and then
Oh, that's
multiple
beautiful.
black. But I also definitely want to do more in-depth paintings, because for the most part, I'm not putting myself down when I say that, but half the time I regard my watercolors as sketching. And suddenly I had an epiphany a couple of months ago where I'm saying, no, they're that good. Take it seriously.
So I thought I'd show you guys how far I am along on the illustration I've been doing while we've been talking. Oh, I'm at only 3% on my iPad. Oh my God. We have to plug this in.
Oh, no.
Ah,
Plug it in. Ooh,
So
That came
I'm-
out really good.
yeah, I'm just a little worried that some parts of the lower head are coming across as kind of flat. But it's maybe I just need to leave it like that and not worry about it too much.
No, I mean, it suggests the direction of the light to me.
And there's some areas I need to clean up. You can see those here.
Mhm.
So I think I'll just spend more time doing that while we're chatting away.
Oh, and Mark, if you can turn on the group share, Kate was asking about my vacation pictures.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll stop share here and I'll turn on the group share. Just a moment.
sorry if you're coughing in the background.
You should be able to share now, Bill.
Okay. So anyway, where are they? Okay, so anyway, here we go. This is probably the best one of the batch. And just seeing that, Kate.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Oh, wow. And you were in Maine, is that right?
Yes, this is Acadia National Park.
I've been there. That's why I was like, that looks like Maine.
And anyway, going down the list.
Now, are your parents stewards of Acadia National Park or
No,
volunteers?
this was us doing a trip up there. They're about 2 hours south of it.
Oh, okay. Because I remember you saying that your parents, your mom in particular, does a lot of volunteer work for one of the parks.
It's not a park. It's some property that that University of Maine owns,
Ah, okay.
which is where their oceanography lab is based, the Darling Center. This is another one I liked quite a bit. This was the last one, which I got the phone call where miracle I was able to finish it because I was distracted by a phone call. And a lot of people are very fond of this one too.
I like the kite. I mean, the quilt.
Another one of my favorites of the batch. Oh, and this one I'm pretty pleased with, because this was for the first time, I thought I was beginning to capture the absolute chaos of the forest in the background. And that was, oops.
Those are beautiful.
Yeah, first
I
one.
commend you.
This is probably the weakest one of the batch, which for the twin reasons of it was I was rushed and it was extremely windy.
Knocking your paper around?
Yes. And that appears to be all of them. But as I said, I'm looking forward to starting to do them I have some ideas for a greeting card series, and even trying some poster art with it for I've shown those Game of Thrones pictures in the past. I'm thinking of doing some watercolor versions of the good ones. That's another example of where the algorithms on Instagram and other ones can be frustrating, because very frequently it seems that the only things of mine that get real eyeballs on social media is the blatant fan art, such as Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's those dang hashtags. Yeah, it doesn't seem like. Yeah.
Because generally I put every single hashtag I can think of.
Yeah.
I mean, to the extent that I put the hashtag redheads have more fun with my orangutan pictures.
Oh, no, no.
That's funny.
So I'm just gonna put my share my screen again, just to show my work as I'm working on it.
Okay.
Okay. Mark, to tell you what a weird weekend it was, I actually sold my Ghoulies Go to College picture.
It did.
Yes. This guy was like, "Oh my God, I love this. Is this from Ghoulies?" And I go, "No, that's from Ghoulies 3. Ghoulies Go to College." And he was like, "I have to have this."
I didn't know there were sequels. I thought that was your particular bit of fan art.
No, it was straight out of Ghoulies Goes to College.
Oh, wait a minute. I was thinking Goonies stuff. All right.
They did. I did sell Ghoulies. My Ghoulies pictures I did sell all of those.
You did the whole
yeah.
everything you brought.
I brought everything I brought. There were a lot of people who didn't know what it was from, that still even liked it. But the fans, it was like, "Oh no, this is going home with me." So that was nice. And then I sold two Pennywises. I sold an original and I sold a print. So it was nice. I didn't even put my minis out until Saturday. I didn't even put them out on Friday. So I put them out on Saturday, and I started selling. These minis are fun for practice. But they are definitely a unique thing that psychologically, I don't think people see value unless they really love the fandom, or Yeah, because the size, because they'll buy a print before they buy their original just to get that bigger size. Because they're like, oh, they're so small. But I love painting these little minis, so I'm gonna keep doing it. I just have to do it with a mindset that either I need to be able to, copy it, photocopy it, and then translate it into a larger print, or just accept what I'm gonna get for it. But
There was a company going around there that was talking about doing prints, high quality prints.
oh, okay.
And I got their number. And one of the things that they also do is they also take high quality photographs of artwork, both 2D and 3D. And they've got really reasonable rates in their shop. So it's completely affordable. So the next time you think, oh, I can't really do this with my camera, it's not going to be adequate. Now there's a resource that you can call up and do. Let me see if I can find them.
Yeah. Please.
This is not an endorsement. This is a recommendation. Let's see. Rob's Lakewood Camera in Lakewood, Washington. And they also run a company called The Print Refinery. And their phone
I saw
number
that.
is 253-584-0210. And it's just talk to Crystal. And there were some really nice rates. Let me take a look. I think I have a rate card here. Oh, I should probably. I'm going to hit stop share. I'm going to do two things. I'm going to hold up a QR code.
Oh.
So this is them in Lakewood, Washington.
I took a screenshot.
Screenshot's
it.
probably the best. And you can always later watch the YouTube video and pause it and do the screenshot then. Okay, so let's see. Copy art includes a 5-inch proof and a CD with a high resolution TIFF and online ready JPEG. So flat art prints, a setup fee for up to a 20 by 22 is $20, and up to a 24 by 36 is $30. Anything larger, you do a quote. There's a per item shoot fee of $25 each for 4 items, 5 to 9 items at $20 each, and $10 or 10 items and up only $10 each. That's for flat art. So you can take your entire paint collection in there and for a very reasonable fee, get it all transcribed digitally.
Oh, that's amazing.
Isn't it? Okay. And they also do 3D artwork as well. Things like collectibles and statues. So I don't know. I might consider them to do some product shots of some of my pins and things.
No, that is really great. Yeah, I think someone that I know that actually the guy who did my wedding photography, I think he just started working there. His name's Thomas Canuli, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Do you know him?
No, but I'm just it's nice to know that this name of the shop is getting around.
Yeah, I think that is the shop he just started working at. He gave me a card, and because they do framing too, right?
I didn't ask about the framing. They were really pushing the whole larger prints.
Oh,
And-
well, yeah. Yeah, no, that's still good though.
And then when I asked them about the other stuff, she says, oh yeah, we do that. I went, oh, great. Well, that's the stuff I want to share. Because,
Yeah.
everybody thinks they're a photographer with their nice fancy cell phones until they try to get a shot and then they go, wait a minute, well, this is okay, but
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when it comes to capturing art on film,
yeah, because they
because whew,
they said they would do color matching. They're very good at it. Now,
yeah,
I'm not particularly, snobby guy when it comes to color matching. I never have been, but I do know people who really they want that color just so.
well, yeah, and sometimes you're even when you scan it yourself, I have a pretty nice high resolution scanner that I can do pretty big pieces on, but it's like it's just still nothing captures like the original. It's just, you know, and so if you can find someone who has the talent to do that for you, you're doing pretty good because there's not many that can.
And don't you hate it when you go to an art show and you're looking at a digital print and it's been blown up, and yeah, it was created on Procreate, and so naturally they had to blow it up. So it does look rastery,
Yeah.
but there are tricks that you can do to get around that. But
Yeah. And
especially if you have a company that has a really high-end printer, those people really know a lot of the tricks.
yeah. Yeah, because I for the price and my skill level right now, but as I get better and it just depends on the piece of art that I'm wanting to sell too. Because some, like you want it to look professional. And I know the more I do and the more I get out there, the more I want to have pride. And especially if I'm working hard to, create the product. If you have a crap print, it doesn't matter what it looked like digitally or, because what the person is going to buy from you, if that doesn't look good, high quality, it's useless.
Well, I had some prints of some Frank the Rabbit from Donnie Darko, and they were not the best quality because I've had them for about 8 years, and they've been rubbing around, so the ink's rubbed off on them in spaces, and their corners have been dinged. And this was through Print Craig, and some of them Print Keg. I use a lot of local printers, but I also send my prints out. And I did a comparison between Print Keg and another place called Ready Comics. And while the prints were nearly identical in their quality with the paper and everything, the fulfillment of the packaging, when Print K came in, it was just one piece of cardboard. It came with a dent and a crease, and that dent and that crease carried through. Whereas in Ready Comic, it was cardboard with divots and padding. So if there was a crease or a dent, it wouldn't carry through to the posters. They came across beautiful, nice, crisp, and clean. So what good is a quality print if it doesn't get to you undamaged?
Right.
So I've been really using Ready Comics, but I got a couple of my prints that I have a special rich black on a plain black, and to the naked eye you can see patterns, and so I would hide illustrations within fields of black. And there's one type of printer that does that, that's an inexpensive printer, and I have to tell them, okay, here's the file, don't flatten it and print it. And one time I sent it to them and they ran it on the other printer without reading the instructions, and they said, oh yeah, we ran it same as we did before. I said, no, you didn't. You didn't run it on the other printer. He says, how can you tell? Because the art, look at the art. The art's not there, They went, this is no good. I can't use these. Well, why don't you take them anyway? So I've been selling the non-hidden art version pieces because, I'm greedy.
Mhm.
I'll sell anything.
Well, too, different people have different, you know,
Oh, that sounds
tolerances
like
or
one of your pets. Whose cat was that?
Sounded like a parrot for a second.
it is not my kitty for once.
No.
My kitty is, I don't know, she's potatoing it over in the middle of the loft into the hallway because that's her best chance she's going to trip someone. So she's just
Oh.
patiently waiting.
I'm taking that something she's done many times before.
She does like to attack my stepson quite a bit. One of her favorite pastimes is attacking him. And she's went after me a couple times too. So
Oh yeah, one fun thing with cats. Have I told you about this art store I like in my main vacation?
No, you haven't.
The place is called Salty's, Salty's Bay Art Supply, and it's one of the best small town art stores I know. But what makes it really cool is Salty. Salty is the biggest freaking Maine Coon cat you ever saw. And amongst other things, his favorite place to sleep is right on the counter in front of the cash register, so you have to reach over to pay.
oh my gosh.
That's
He's like,
funny.
I want you to know you're in my way. I'm not in your way.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cat gets like that too. Like when I'm on conference calls, she's like, I really don't care for whoever, X, Y, and Z is talking because I'll have it on the speakerphone. And then she'll just like get up on the desk and like start swatting at the phone because I'll have it on speakerphone and she'll just be like, shut up. I don't want to hear it.
Oh, I had a similar story with that when I was house sitting, where I was still in the middle of my mermaid challenge. And as the weeks went along, Sono, the cat I'm taking care of, got increasingly sociable, which frequently consisted of her coming and sitting on what I was working on, and sometimes batting at my brush, or thankfully she always did it before I had a chance to do any painting, drinking out of the brush water.
Oh my gosh.
If you
Yeah,
look,
I have to.
if you've watched my time lapse videos on my YouTube channel, you will see several familiar looking brown furry blurs in the time lapse, and that's
Okay.
having to move her off the table repeatedly.
I'll have to take a look at that for sure and see her.
So it is 5 minutes away. It's time for announcements. Tomorrow night in Tacoma from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, there's a live drawing session happening at the Grand Cinemas. This is something I put together. We call it the Grand Drawing Room. And we have a cosplayer come in and do some modeling for us. And we started this in January, so this will be month number 6, and this will be our 5th cosplayer. And again, that's between 6 and 8 o'clock. It's free to attend. Tipping the model is encouraged. And bring your own art supplies. And I'm trying to think, Bill, is there anything happening with Cartoonist Northwest that you know of?
Nothing with Cartoonist Northwest, though the Graphic Artists Guild is having its show monthly show, the New England chapter is having their monthly show and tell. Which
So
is
people can sign up to that via Eventbrite if they just type in Graphic Artists Guild and or show and tell.
right.
And that's this Thursday, did you say?
That's this Wednesday, which is why I'm not going to be doing the Tacoma one, even though I was considering it.
No, I can completely understand. You got the no bus option versus the long bus ride option. So
Yeah. I'm definitely considering it eventually, but I'm still showing off my my vacation pictures.
well, I normally like to attend the show and tell, so you'll have to tell people what I'm up to.
Hmm.
Nothing like plugging another event when you're at another event.
Yeah.
And just a reminder that next Tuesday is the 4th of July and there will not be an epic sketch time. And that reminds me that when I sign off here, I need to go onto Eventbrite and to delete that event off the calendar because I think I still have it up.
You know, I never look there. I just sign in and I'm like, oh, nobody's showing up. I guess they're not.
Incredibly, that's me too, though 4th of July on 4th of July is kind of obvious.
Yes, yes, it is.
Now, Louise and Virginia, in case you don't know, the link that you have for today is going to be the link for next week, and we'll continue to use this link until I make a mistake or we get rated.
Okay.
So,
So don't lose that.
we've done this for like 8 years, and we've only had to change the link twice. So,
Crazy.
Crazy
Yeah.
is right. Some people, I do an artist, well, I think artful explorers, and it's people from New York, but anyway, they get rated all the time,
Oh,
Yeah.
you have to be a little careful about putting out the URL code. The times that we got rated was when I put it out on Twitter. And I said, here's the code to get in. By having Eventbrite really is helpful because it provides a sort of like a screening process. But once you're in here and you've been, vetted, just click the link. And so,
Okay. And I won't forget because in 2 weeks I have it all on my calendar.
okay.
Well, thank you so much, and have a great 4th of July, everyone.
thank you.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
I'm
You too.
curious, who's doing shows next month? Are you, I don't have anything scheduled right yet. How about you, Katie? Are you doing any shows?
I am doing I think it's called a river walk or something.
Oh,
July
the river walk.
29th.
I thought about doing the river walk.
Yeah, I'm
but-
doing that with Elizabeth Gizetti.
And I thought about doing that and was kind of going, I wasn't sure what their crowd would be like. So I'm going to be really looking forward to hearing it's free, right? For you
Yes.
to have a
Yep.
space.
You just put your tin up and see what happens. But I'm going with the best book salesman on the planet. So I assured Elizabeth we'll sell at least one thing because he'll be there.
Yeah. Okay. So check out the Riverwalk, people, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Louise.